My name's Suraidi Sipan. I was born in 1950 and I started writing my poems in 1971, if I'm not mistaken. And so far I've been writing about more than 80 poems, but I'm still compiling my latest poems. At the beginning, I didn't write poetry. At the beginning, I'm involved a lot in painting, so I mix around with my friends who is good in literature, who is good in writing poems. So from that, my friend encouraged me, why not you write a poem, since you're very good in art and you can express in art. In a surrealism is not much different to express yourself. The first poems come out in a Berita Harian, and I'm quite happy that everybody encouraged me to continue it.
Do you remember when your first poem came out in Berita
My
Harian?
first poem came out in 19. I think the books is still with. It's all in the books.
Okay.
There's the first poems is I think I forget the first poems. It was come out the first one. Is talk about a person who is in the cemetery. And he reflects about his life, and he talked to the to the environments of the situation in the cemeteries and reflect himself in a life. Most of my poetry talk about the humanisms, and then talk about my people, talk about the situation in Singapore at that moment, at that times.
The 70s?
Yeah, yes, and 70s. And reflect myself when we do the separation from Malaysia, and then we talk about a few Malay leadership and so on, and then also I'm most concentrated on issue about humanisms. Overall, it's a universal humanism rather than talk about my community itself. I want that the Malays should be also realized, should be come forward, and then so must be contribute to the development of Singapore. If we are very open to accept of criticisms and then moving forward, I believe that Malay also can be like other races in Singapore.
What would you say to new readers coming to your work?
Okay, the new readers, maybe they have forgotten myself at the present moment, because not many of them are really know about myself. They see only the book that I produced. That was 1984. That's the first one, and that was the last one. So now those who really know me well, they now keep on encouraging me to get involved, coming back again, to give more talk. Normally they want to compare during that times and at the present moment. And then I'm quite happy when I read through again my own poetry, my own poem. There is not much, the situation is not much different, but they still can learn a lot, can reflect themselves. Even the younger generation is still the same issue.
Still relevant.
Yeah, still relevant for them. For example, I give you the Nyanyi Puisi. We talk about the conflict in Africa, we talk about conflict in the Middle East. It still exists until now.
Yeah.
I've been talking about this long ago, maybe 30 years ago, almost 40 years ago, but it still exists. And this has been translated in Palestine also,
right.
Because in 1984, by one of my colleagues, when I was in Iowa University, we attended the international writing programs. And then during that time, I met him. He was a Palestinian, but he's a Christian. But he's a very nice fella. When he read my poem, he was surprised. He said, "You really think about our people?" I said, "Yes, I think about it. It's the only thing that I don't understand. Is it a Muslim issue or is it a Palestinian issue?" So he told me, "Suraidi, it's not a religion issue, but it is a Palestine. Because we are Palestinian, we came from different belief. So we fight for the independence. Because that time I know that Palestine is not independent at all. In 1984, only later during Yasser Arafat. So then when he read through all my poems and then he said, "Can I take your poem? I want to publish in my magazine, in my newspaper in Palestine." I said, "It's alright, I can give you free. You take it as long as you be happy. You know that this is okay. Is there any controversial or that?" "No, Suraidi said no controversial at all. I like it because the way that you approach this, the way that you write this poem is really, really good for me. It's not offend anybody because we are talking about the humanism. You are talking about the independent. You are talking about we are not. This is not the harsh approach. This is not the people talk about fighting and so on. But we're looking for the independent. We're looking for something that we can peaceful in the world." So I'm quite happy because I'm a Singaporean. We also think about the world. We also think about others' issue in the world. We also participate individually, even though I'm not representing the government. I represent a citizen of Singapore who will really understand the situation of the world.